Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time it is for you. I'm Cycle, and this is Let's Play Train Simulator, and welcome to the only official HST scenario included with this route. I have now double-checked this, and I can confirm this is the case. Don't believe me? Well, let's scroll down a little bit here. Here's Bristol Swansea. Notice we got 4 Class 175s and 3 Class 70 Freightliners here in the official 7 that go with the Bristol to Swansea segment of the route. Or I should say the Cardiff to Swansea, because the whole route is Bristol to Swansea. And then down here, we do have a couple HSTs, but they're part of the scenario pack where we have number 9 and number 10. Both of those are sorry, I should say 7 and 8, I believe those are. 7 and 8, they're both HSTs. And apparently we got one that uses a Class 150 here, and I don't know if that is the... I think that's the Class 150 Type 1. I believe I remember that was a requirement for that scenario pack. So when I play the 150 Type 1, I'm going to have to do that before coming to the scenario pack. Same with the Riva Trains Wales, because there's the 158 and the 143 showing up. So and another 158, 4 of those. Then of course the standard 175 and the Class 70, and then we have a 67 stuck in there as well. So I'm going to have to play these other DLC before I actually do the scenario pack. I can't just rush to the scenario pack. I am going to see about giving you a Railfan special, though. I'd like to do these Railfans, at least these first 3, and then we'll do another Railfan special when I do these 3 on the Bristol to Swansea portion of the route. So the Cardiff to Swansea portion of the route, but I think these stations are all in the Cardiff to Swansea section, not in the Bristol to Cardiff section. So we're going to go ahead and do the last scenario on the original 8 today. I will eventually introduce the Riva Trains Wales set, but I'm going to do that after I do these scenarios. So I have a lot of scenario play to do here if I want to play all the South Wales coastal items. And there are all sorts of items I've been finding on the workshop and on sites like Alan Thompson Sim. It's one of the most visited routes on Alan Thompson Sim. I just have to make sure I have the stock to run some of those scenarios. And then I can run those scenarios as well. So there's a lot of options here. This is why I want to explore some of this route and get this route original scenarios done, so I can put in the Armstrong Powerhouse enhancements for the sky, the weather, and show you a much better looking representation of this route. That's what I really want to do here. So that's exactly what we are going to do here. And by that process, let's go ahead and take the last scenario here today. And then we're going to have the Railfan special, and then we'll deal with these Riva Trains Wales pack before we move on to Bristol Swansea. But they will be later. I have to visit another UK route before I come back to here and finish this. I have something else I need to open up on another UK route. I need to introduce a little bit of steam. I need to introduce Stevens Pass. I've got lots of plans here. So we're going to get going with this for today. And let's do that. High-speed train, number 8, London to Swansea, service number 1B59. Let's get started. Welcome aboard 1B59, a Great Western Railway service from London Paddington to Swansea. Disruption in the Sodbury area has diverted our train via Bath and Bristol Temple Meads. Oh boy. To get back on track, you'll need to change ends at Bristol Temple Meads and Bristol Parkway. Set the train up and get going when ready. So basically these are stops that we would make anyway on this train. That sounds horrible. And because those are stops we would make anyway, I'm going to take the brakes off. These are stops we would make anyway, so I can't go yet. Why am I doing that? I had a yellow, so I just went by the yellow. So let's reset that plan. No need to go yet. There we are. Much better. I might as well keep the brakes off because they're not going anywhere. Anyway, the Bristol Temple Meads and Bristol Parkway, I believe, are stops this train would make anyway, but because we're being diverted, we're going to be put into a terminal platform so as not to disrupt the main lines, and thus other trains can come in as needed and be moved where needed. So we're going to use a terminal line for our Bristol Temple Meads, I believe, because it's showing platform 13, that is a terminal line. And we're going to then make our way out to Bristol Parkway, and we're going to have to change ends to do it. I better put the brakes on. We're going to have to change ends to do it. We're going to go to change ends again at Bristol Parkway, and then we're going to have 2 more stops to make. You can see our itinerary right here. We have to finish at 7:13. There is a Class 70 service going by, light engine to depot. We should be going any second now. I've taken the brakes off to prepare for it. There it is. So we're starting at a 70 mile per hour speed limit, but as you can see, I'm not going to be worrying about getting up to that kind of speed right now. We are limited effectively to 25 miles per hour. I'm going to get ourselves up to 25 as quickly as possible so I can pull into the terminal platform with as much time as I can. I believe because this is a busy terminal platform, a busy station, we're probably going to have a long stop there. You can see we're supposed to leave at 1822, but we have to arrive at 1820. So we are going to plan for a longer stop here. So we are at our 25 effective speed limit here. There's a 70 sign, but that's not going to matter because we're going to quickly move into a 25. Basically the junction. Well, maybe not even a junction because now we're just changing lines. You can see the terminus up ahead. We're going to drop to a 15 as we get into that area as well. So when we do that, we're going to probably drop it to about 12 to make sure we don't trigger any system that might be on the line to prevent us running into the buffer. I want to get the entire train in because we want to get our second engine in front of the signal. We will set up the second engine while we're boarding passengers, and then we'll go ahead and we'll take pictures while we wait for the process to complete. I think that's a good way to do it. Now the brakes, I believe, are pretty good on this locomotive. Unnaturally good. I don't think they're really supposed to be this good. Being completely honest, I don't think the HST brakes are supposed to be that good. So I'm going to hit the brakes right now to show you what I mean. It's actually not as good as I thought they would be, but still, they're coming down nicely. If I put a heavy brake application on, those will melt the miles off our speed in a hurry. But a slow application is fine for the time being. It should get us down in time. You can see the sign for the 15 up ahead. We are now in good range, so we can go ahead and just proceed at this point. There is the 15 for the left line, it's saying. I guess if you go straight ahead, it's 25. 15 because we're in a terminus. So there's the 15 now in effect. I'm going to drop a few miles. Coming in at 10 should be good, I believe. I don't know why they make it 15. 10 is a more appropriate speed for coming in, I believe. And really, they should be timed for 10. So welcome to Bristol Parkway. All the platforms here. This is platform 13, which tells you how many platforms there are here. Definitely more than 13. I know there's a 15 as well and a 14 somewhere. So yeah, lots of platforms. I think there are a couple numbers that used to be platforms, but those platforms might have gotten moved or something like that. I don't know. They're not assigned to platforms now. So I'm going to get the back engine fully into the platform. I can pull up as much as I can at the buffer, but I want to keep in the green if I can. So let's not go all the way up. We are well on time, so I have no problem with my timing here. All right. Okay, make sure I'm fully in the platform here. I don't want to chance it here. Okay, we are fully in the platform. I should be good for the signal. Let's go ahead and let passengers board. We'll set up our other train. So we're going to put this engine reverser into neutral. Thank you. We're going to keep the brakes around there. I'm going to bring up the F4 HUD and change cabs. Changing cabs will allow me to now bring the other HUD back up. We have a red right now, as you can see. We're going to go ahead and turn that on. We just got a yellow signal, but we're waiting for passengers anyway. And I'm going to leave the brakes on so we don't move for right now, naturally. I'm going to put the reverser up so we're ready to go. Let's get some pictures. Yes, I know. Okay. Okay, we're getting the actual pause the game messages here. I guess that's okay. All passengers here at Bristol Temple Meads have boarded this London Paddington to Swansea high-speed service. Switch cabs and head for Bristol Parkway. Why this is the only scenario to give us the pause the game messages when we've been having them continue all this time, I have no idea. But we're going to get going. Now, you may remember that we had a red signal behind us as we came in, which is normal. We just arrived. Why would it be green right away? Another service left after we came in, and then we got a yellow as we went to take pictures. It is now green. So we have to keep in mind that there is now a signal. By the way, that might be one of those AWS warnings. There's a no AWS section around Bristol Temple Meads as well in the Bristol to Exeter route. So that's interesting as well. So I think where the AWS turns back on at this point, basically. Something like that. I haven't played that route yet, so I don't know. But in any case, we suspect at this point there's probably a train ahead of us. And if you remember the services we've been running on this with the 175, we do make stops at Filton Abbey Wood. So I'm expecting delays. So 15 is currently our speed limit. We're going to move over to the left track here, it looks like. We're at 25 now, so I'm going to increase the throttle and punch it up just a little bit. For all we know right now, we're in good shape, so we don't have to worry for right now. We can technically go line speed, but I have to be prepared to really slam those brakes. I have to be prepared for that. Fortunately, there is one signal up ahead that has a really good repeater signal. You may remember that one from the scenario number 6, the final 175 scenario on this part of the route. So you may remember that signal has two signal arms. One tells you if it's a diversion, the other one tells you if you're going straight. Only one can be turned at a time. You can't have both. We just crossed into 40, but we're now crossing into another 25, so we're not going to be able to even get up to the 40 speed. We're not even going to get to 30. We're not even going to get 27. We have to just keep it at 25. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take probably another junction here, I'm guessing. That or this is just a 25 track. I think it's just a 25 track. Interesting. And you saw the signal turn red as we pass. It changes instantly. In a real life scenario, it would actually let the train fully pass before it changes, but in this game it changes instantaneously. Some routes actually have a delay programmed, like a 3-second delay or something, but a lot of them don't. So right now we're still effectively going line speed. That's okay. Welcome to Lawrence Hill. So our ETA shows us being slightly late. That may be irrelevant. Oh, don't speed. Don't speed. Don't speed. Oh, we're at a 60 anyway, so we're not speeding anyway. Let's go ahead and put a little speed on at least. So we're going to be going through Stapleton Road in a moment. It's not too far after Lawrence Hill, because Stapleton Road is coming up. While we get this service going, I hope you've enjoyed this South Wales Coastal Series. Let me know if there's something you want me to drive. I want to get input from my viewers as to what you want to see. If it's something I have, like I have a number of DLCs, so if it's something I have, I'll show it to you. If it's something I don't have, well, you have two options. You can either support me by buying the DLC for me and I'll show it off, or you can just request something else. I have enough DLC right now that I don't think it's a good idea for me to buy any more right now. Or at least not too many. Not unless I really need something like a train for some scenarios on a route. In which case it would be like a less than like a $10 item. I'm just a little tight right now. I need to get some better money sources going, and then I can go ahead and one of them being obviously a decent job compared to what I'm doing now, and then I can go ahead and probably buy some of the more premium stuff as well. So at that point I can look into buying some premium stuff if I have extra money to go around. So I could look into things like ATS sub or something like that if I want to, but I'm not in a hurry to even do that because I know Missing Link will not be in its final form, and I'm going to have to pay again if I want the final version. So I'm still going to wait to do even that. But yeah, so I had a yellow signal. I'm planning for this to be a red. Notice I'm letting the speed go down naturally at this point. I expect there's a train making a stop at Filton Abbey Wood. That's probably why I'm being slowed down. because that train is making a stop. As I come around the corner, I'm going to see a yellow. We are still under caution, but I will have enough space between a repeater signal and the actual signal that's up ahead. So I'm going to be able to go up to a little faster speed right now, and we can adjust from there if we need to. So I'm not too concerned about my situation for the time being. I know there's a 25 after that spot as well, so I'm going to have to slow down anyway, even if I was going fast. So we're going to increase some speed here. Of course, the ETA shows me being late now. Nothing I can do about that. I'm actually going to keep an eye on the ETA for another reason. That might be another sign for me that the route may have changed. Because right now there's a train that's probably not going to be taking the same route as we are. I mean, normally services don't go to Bristol Parkway unless that's the way they normally go, like to London Paddington. So if I see that time slot, that ETA time change, that means I know the service, the signal is likely green up ahead, and I can go ahead at that point. But I'm going to be coming upon that repeater soon because we're 9/10 of a mile away from the next signal. And the reason I am being cautious on the speed is because A, we're under caution, and B, I know what that we're probably going to be holding up on a red up ahead. This is not our normal way of doing the route, so not surprising. I think normally this train would reverse at Bristol Temple Meads and then just head straight up the route, so we had to take a different route to get to Bristol Parkway. That seems to be what's happening here. So we're getting a warning about the 60. We have a green, so notice the ETA has now lost a minute on it because the route has now changed for us. We can go ahead and speed up to 60 if we want to, and that's what I'm going to do. It's convenient that we get an alarm at that 60 because it actually is also an alarm for the repeater signal, which is very convenient. Check the repeater. That's not its intended purpose, but it does the job. So why not? By the way, this is what the wiper looks... Oh, that's not the wiper. Oh, I was playing with the headlights. Okay. This is what the wiper looks like. There you go. In case you wanted to know. Notice the little jut of track behind the 60 mile per hour speed board up ahead? So I've cut the throttle. I'm going to go ahead and just inch it up slightly to get back towards 60, but our stop is right ahead, so I don't really need to go this full speed right now. I'm just doing it because I know the brakes work. Brakes are decent on this train, in my experience. Too decent, I would say. I think they're too decent. So this is our diamond interchange that we have on the route. That's not the diamond interchange. This is the diamond interchange. There we are. Thank you. So we're leaving a 60 into a 90 and being warned of a 60. Brilliant. Brilliant. We haven't even left 60 yet and we're being warned of a 60. I don't get it. I don't get why that section is 90. I really don't. No train could ever get up to 90 in that section. And get down on time legally is what I'm trying to get at here. So I'm going to start braking now because we have a platform very, very close and we have a full minute to make our stop. So I don't need to rush in here. Let's just hit the brakes. I might be coming in a little too fast. I am definitely coming in a little too fast. I normally don't go to 85% brake, but I need to make sure I get slowed down. So that'll do the job. I actually am now at a good pace, so I'm going to take the brakes off and I'm going to coast in. There's a CCTV. We're going to be helping our passengers very nicely here with the stop now. It's not going to be a sudden catastrophic stop anymore. Now it's a nice gentle stop. Here we are. That was a little hair raising, but arrival at Bristol Parkway. We're going to open the door and we're going to change ends again. So let's get this, well, the brake's already where I need it. I literally planned that. There we go. Gonna get an alarm. Hello. We're going to go over here. We're going to turn this back on. We're going to put that up. We have a double yellow. Doody, doody, doody. There it is. Going to move that to a smaller brake. And we're going to be here for about a minute and a half. So, or at least a minute. So, let's take a look outside, shall we? Passenger boarding is complete. Change ends already done and proceed to Newport when ready. Already on it. Brakes off. We're going to be leaving technically the 60 mile per hour speed restriction, but we're pulling immediately into a 25. So I'm just going to get a burst up to about 20 and then I'm going to cut the throttle off. Remind me not to use that too often. So there's a service up here. That is a Wentloog to Southampton. I think we drove that service recently. We didn't have to wait here, but we did drive that service recently. I believe. So we're going to stay in this little 25 section for right now. At some point, when we get to down tunnel, the speed is going to just automatically change. We're supposed to know the speed limit changes. It's not actually marked, I don't believe. Oh yeah, there it is, 60. So right there, we're already in a 60 now. So we're going to continue to speed up. It was a junction speed limit, so there you go. And that train was hauling some coal. Let's peek at the end of the train. You can see they are loaded coal wagons, so definitely hauling some coal today. Hopefully he doesn't have a hot box issue like we did in the last scenario. Truly unfortunate situation. A little less coal for our customer. So I'm cutting the throttle off a little bit here for the moment because we're getting towards our 60, so I wanted to slow our increase. The bell also gave me a little bit of a panic attack there for a second because I thought it was something else, so I just lowered the throttle by that anyway, but I wanted to lower it here anyway. So we're going to take it completely idle now because we did hit 60. We're going to have a downhill coming up, so I'm just going to go ahead and I'll increase a little bit, but I am going to have to hit the brakes on this downhill anyway at some point, as I'm probably going to come close to 90 miles per hour. It is to be expected. Some houses in this area as we go by. They probably don't look like that in real life. They probably look nicer. Some may look worse. They all look the same in this game. So I believe we just went through Newport, if I am not mistaken, because this is the Newport, or not Newport, Patchway is what I meant to say. Because this is the Patchway new tunnel right here, and we are definitely going to have to hit the brakes in this tunnel. I can see it. We're at 78 going in, and we're going to be hitting 90 as we come to the bottom, and we're going to have to drop it to 75 for the Severn tunnel anyway. So we're definitely going to be running that brake a little bit. I am prepared to do so. My braking fingers are ready. So throttle remains idle as we leave the Patchway New Tunnel. We're at 84 miles per hour going through this tertiary tunnel here. And that track below us, we're going to have a very heavy gradient getting down to that track. You know that already, 1 in 68 gradient. The tracks will eventually line back up and share the same gradient again. And now's a good time to put a little train brake on, I think. And that's notch 1 of train brake. There is no notch below that, so we do lose speed with that level of train brake. Like I said, I think that's too good of a train brake, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know if it actually was that good in service, but what do I know? You can see the sun over in the sky there. It looks like a sun setting. Either that or the moon is rising. I'm not sure. That looked like a class 43 as well. Another HST, I think that was. It didn't look like a freight service. I didn't see freight cars. I did see green. Got that in time. We have a double yellow. So someone's in the Severn tunnel is what that means. I'm going to have to hit the brakes here. Now who it is? It's probably that other train we were waiting for, and he's still in the Severn tunnel after our detour to Bristol Parkway. That's pretty embarrassing. Or is his normal service? I don't know. So I'm at 50 for right now. That'll do for the time being until we see the signal. It is a yellow of some form. Will it upgrade while we're here? I actually want to upgrade, so I'm going to slow down to see if the signal upgrades. If it does, I can just go ahead and speed up. So I'm braking intentionally to see if it upgrades. It did not. It is a single yellow. This is extremely unfortunate. I have to drive under caution now. The entrance to the Severn tunnel is currently closed. Why is it closed? Well, let's look ahead, shall we? He's already out, so I don't think we're going to have a problem, but we have to wait and assume it's caution anyway. We have to assume we're going to stop anyway, so we're going to play it properly. Going to play it properly here. We're going to play under caution. So we were a little... Hello. We were a little too efficient, apparently. That warning was for the 75 when we're now comically going 40. I don't think there's a repeater for the Severn tunnel signal, which is extremely unfortunate. It'd be a good place to have a repeater right here, but you can see it is green ahead, so that's why there's no repeater. We can actually proceed. So we can see the green signal, and we are clear to go. So we're going to quickly get ourselves back up to 75. A little bit of a slowdown there. It's actually not going to affect us too badly, but we are going to have a little slowdown there, unfortunately. We should make that time back, distracted by that bell again. So we should make that time back. Not a big deal. At this time, I'm going to remove the throttle. I'm going to let the hill do the work. So we are now at 70. Now, because of how long this particular signal block is, I don't predict that train ahead of us is going to cause too many problems. It may stop at Severn Tunnel Junction, so we'll be there for probably a minute or two while we're in this tunnel. But I don't expect it's going to have... I don't think there's really any stations for it to stop at until Newport. So it's going to get to Newport ahead of us before we even get close to it at this point, I would imagine. As long as it's going at the proper speed. I need to brake. We have not seen the single blue light yet, so we have to assume that we are still on this downhill. I mean, if we were playing without the HUD, that'd be a good way to do it. You just look for the single blue, but you also have to keep an eye on your speed. So you want to turn on the cab light or something, maybe have the instrument lights on, which I should have probably turned on already by now. We're back at 75, so we're going to hit the brakes again. We're going to keep it at 74 right now, because we're going to be looking for that single blue light once again. We're at 73. Actually, I'm still going to keep the brake on because we still have a little ways to go here. There's a single blue light. So take that off. going to go ahead and start putting some throttle on now, and I'm going to see how this train responds on this uphill. I'm not sure how it's going to handle 1 in 90 gradient, so I am putting the throttle on. It's actually doing very well, so I'm going to have to hold that back. I'm going to have to hold this Tiger back a little bit. Oh my. It handles this hill very well. Extremely well. But then it's not hauling 1,000 tons of coal either, which helps. I think it's even doing it better than the 175 does, to be honest with you. I really think it is. I think it's just a stronger train. I'm not even trying right now, and I'm maintaining 75 up this hill. I'm not even trying. I'll be able to take it to 90 when I get out of this tunnel. Excellent. That's helped me make some time back easily, and I have no problem with that. Need to keep making that time back. Oh, there is a 70 coming up, so I need to keep that in mind. As we leave the Severn tunnel, our speed will go down just a wee bit. There's the end of the tunnel, just insta-popping into the distance there. Or might just come around a corner as well, I'm not sure. Is there a corner in this tunnel? I think there is. Yeah, there is a corner there, so I guess it can come around the corner. She'll be coming around the corner. I'll stop. Ah, daylight. Blinding the daylight. Gonna cut the throttle off now because I need to get down to 70. I'm gonna try and do it without the brakes. I am easily successful in doing it without the brakes. I'll put a 20 throttle on to maintain speed now, and that's all I need to do. And now I'm coming to flat ground, so I'm going to want to not even do that. I'm going to want to coast. So I'm at 69 now. I request that no one giggle. It's just one number below 70, which is our speed limit. Severn Tunnel Junction station just went by, so we are now joining an area where we are going to be able to open up the engine quite a bit and give it some carrots. Gonna make this horse gallop. But we gotta reach that 90 sign first before we can do that. What do you mean engines don't like carrots? Everyone likes gold. Wrong carrots. Oh, 75 is our limit now, so we're gonna go ahead and start increasing speed now. So that will be a little improvement to us for right now. So I'm back to a 20% throttle. I'm going to see how that holds us for the time being. We're gaining speed, and we don't want to gain too much speed yet. We're not quite at the 90s, so I'm going to drop it a little bit. I'm going to pump it up to 100% throttle as soon as I am able to. So I'm going to increase again now. There we go. 100% throttle. Let's pump her. That's a yellow on the other track, I believe. No, that's just the daylight. I thought that was a yellow signal on the other track. Never mind. Getting close to 90 now. There is a Freightliner container flats service going on the other track. Probably coming from Wentloo or something like that. I might have gotten the name wrong all of a sudden. I just suddenly forgot. So I'm going 90 right now. Not even any effort getting there. Not even any effort. In fact, I'm gaining above 90 on a level 1 throttle. So this throttle is pretty good as well. I can see why people like driving this train in this game, because driving fast is fun, and this train definitely drives fast. Without question. It's kind of a shame that they're no longer in action, but I assume that the new 800s, 801s, 802s, 803s, I assume they're able to cover the same kind of speeds and better. I'm sure they're doing just fine without the HST. So I'm sure there's a lot of people who miss the HST, though. It was definitely a high-speed stalwart of the line. It was in service for a number of years. I don't want to say it was 40 years. That seems too long for the HST. Definitely for at least like 20 or 30 years, though. Definitely a long time this train was in service. Actually, while I am kind of idling around 90 here, let me actually try to see if I can get a quick tidbit of information from the manual on this, because I may be able to give some information. Let's put it back to 20 for a second. Of course, the comical part is I need to somehow pay attention to what I'm doing on the screen while I'm looking up on my iPad this information on the Class 70. Or 43. Here it is. They were built, as I'm at 90.1, so I'm going to drop this for a second. They began in the early 1970s, so it is 40 years, yeah. The early 1970s, they were a stopgap while British Rail developed their advanced passenger train, the failed Class 370 that we have one or two or three copies of at most. And it is its own DLC by itself, which is a comical purchase, and that's why I purchased it, because I have to show it to you. Otherwise, a comical purchase, I'm not sure how often it gets used in scenarios, because it's only good for a certain time period. It's never going to show up anywhere else. I think we have a little downhill here, so I'm going to take the throttle off for a second. We have a 75 coming up. We have a warning for the 75 coming up. Okay, good. I'm down in plenty of time. I didn't need to go down that early, but I did. So yeah, they began in the 1970s as a stopgap for the APT. Once the prototype was complete, the name changed to simply the high-speed train, so not just the Class 43 anymore. They were looking for full introduction, and the initial order was 30 to 40 trains. In the end, it looks like, well, more than that were built, I believe. That was a lot of information about the train. I'm not going to try to go over this while I'm also going to have to slow down to a 40 for the station stop here, so I'm not going to try to cover all this right now. We are 2 miles from our station, and in that logic, we should be able to stop in less than 2 minutes, but we have a 40 coming up, so we have to keep that in mind. It's only a mile away, so we're still going to have plenty of time for our stop. The ETA, I don't believe, is accurate for this train. So I'm going to start dropping the speed now. We should get that warning in a moment. I think I see the Morphous board ahead. Yep, there it is. Since I started early, I'm on a more casual slowdown. I'm going to have to chunk it down just a second. We have a yellow. Newport Station is currently protected, so we need to slow down even more now. So that train we're following, I believe, is in Newport right now, unfortunately. So we're going down to a caution setting. Knew there was a reason we were still getting 1855 as a stop time here. I knew there was a problem. Didn't know what it was, but now I know. So this should still be a yellow signal, hopefully a double yellow, so we're cleared in the station. If it's a single yellow, we got a problem. There's something hanging out over there. That is a Class 70 just hanging out. We're green now, by the way. So that's some kind of a class 70 hanging out over there. I don't know what it's doing there. Waiting for the line, I guess. It needs us to go by so it can take the line. I went from double yellow to green in a hurry. I slowed down too much, apparently. But I think I'm still good for the stop, so I'm going to be able to screech down from 30 in a hurry. Now we have yellow. And I'm going to go ahead and get down to 30 quickly. Going to let it go for a second. Look at that water. The tree on the water. It doesn't match the color, but what can you do? We're cleared to platform 2, as the HUD says, and as our goal says. That's exactly where we're going. So coming in at 25 should be a good speed. We're going to have room to make the stop. And I'm going to start slowing down now. And increase the brakes. Letting him off a little bit, as you might have noticed. We're now green up ahead. So that double yellow again has changed quickly. I actually need to take the brakes off because I'm coming in too slowly now. So I'm putting a little speed back on for a moment so I can come in. Once the entire train's in the platform, I will stop. Entire train is in the platform, I will stop. Increase the brakes and then take them off for passenger comfort. Alright, arrival at Newport Platform 2. I'm not going to read that. Leaving Newport Platform 2, our next and final stop in this entire set of 8 scenarios is the terminal platform at Cardiff Central Platform 3. None of the platforms are actual terminal platforms, but given the route has no stations beyond that in this itineration of it, that is technically our terminal platform. So we are going to continue and finish there. The train will continue to Swansea without us, and a future service will take the train to Swansea. Most likely. So we need to get up to 30. I'm doing a burst to get to 30 in a hurry so we can keep some speed. We're already a minute ahead of schedule because we are on time. That is good. That tells me we're going to have yellows up ahead, doesn't it? I'm not liking that. Not likey. No likey. Idling the throttle now as we enter the Newport Tunnel. I still think it's called the Hillfield Tunnel because the Open Railway map calls it the Hillfield Tunnel. So I guess maybe it has 2 names. I don't know. I don't know. But it's definitely the Newport Tunnel because we are at Newport. So we'll just refer to it as Newport Tunnel because that's what the map says. I don't know. I'm not going to argue. You can see the tunnel exit in the distance. I'm pretty sure that is not a case of nothing being there. Thank goodness. Oh, we're in 50 now. I need to speed up. Getting too cocky because I'm a minute early, so I'm going to forget to speed up. That's not what I want to do. Hey, class 70. More coal hoppers. They're also loaded, you can see. More loaded coal hoppers. Gonna cut the throttle back now. Now you may notice that tunnel over there. You may be wondering where that goes. Don't speed. Wow. I nearly sped. I still nearly sped because the train decided to just suddenly jet up the speed. Let's find out where that tunnel goes very quickly. Where does that tunnel go, you might be asking? It's the Gare Tunnel, and it goes over here. Heads towards Macquarie, Ebu, and Ebu Vale. That's what's over there. really noticed that tunnel before, and you're probably going to wonder why I didn't point it out all this time. I never really saw a reason to point it out because I never really looked over there. Oh, 75 is our limit. I cut down a little early. 75 is our limit. So I'm going to go back to a 40% throttle. I thought our limit was 75 or 70, so that was my mistake. Now we're at a 95, so we can actually go up to 100% throttle again. We will get up there with no effort. While I get up there, some more reading about the Class 43, in case you didn't know some stuff. The HST first ran on the Great Western Main Line in 1976, operating services between London, Paddington, Bristol, and South Wales. We know this, of course. As a concept of semi-permanently coupled locomotives and coaches was new in Britain, the trains were initially referred to as Class 253, with sets allocated to the East Coast Main Line, with an extra coach being Class 254. They got their own classes because of the different number of coaches. When privatization took place, GWT was formed on February 4th, 1996. The new company wanted to make an image of itself, so it got some Class 43 power cars in emerald green and ivory Merlin livery, which is what we're driving today. And that was in September of 1996. The company only lasted a few years. Great Western Trains, I should clarify, that's what that is. First group eventually bought them and turned into GWR. Cut down my throttle now because we're getting towards the limit. So since the introduction of the Great Western Main Line, the HST has offered attractive commuting times into the capital, or it did offer attractive commuting times through its lifetime, because it's gone now. Combined with lower house prices in Reading, Swindon, Bristol, and beyond, the trains have been key because, you know, people didn't have to buy cars anymore. So it worked out for them. They didn't have to buy a car to pay for the insurance and the gas, and having the train to be able to get right in the middle of the city was perfect for work purposes. So it means they get up a little earlier for their 8 o'clock job, but you know what? If you want to live the lifestyle, that's what you do. So the fleet far outlived its projected lifespan, and that's why it only disappeared in 2020. I think at the end of 2020, the last one left the line. So they lasted a long time. Maximum speed is 125, which I believe many of you knew already, and I knew that as well, but I just thought I'd read that out since it was in front of me. Getting a little dark in the scenario now. I said it was going to be a little closer to dark driving, but it actually is sunset, so we get to drive into a beautiful sunset tonight. I'm not going to object to that. A few clouds in the distance, that's fine. As long as they don't do some weird things in the sky, in which case I think there's a tornado coming. Oh, 75. We have a 75 speed limit coming up. We'll get an alert to that, so I'm going to play it around the alert. But I have gone ahead and idled the throttle at this time. Alert should be coming. I'm hovering over the Q button. There it is. Slow down time. That's the 75 warning. I'm coming off very nicely, so I'm going to leave it at 80 for a moment. I wonder if that noise is the cab updating, indicating certain things, certain changes in settings. I haven't actually looked at the cab for this train yet. I should do that probably. Didn't quite get down, so another brake application. There we go. That'll do. I will have to go down to 40 in about a minute or two as well. Might be longer than that actually, because we're still technically 10 minutes from our destination. 9 minutes is our ETA. Probably about 7 or 8 unless we have a red. That's a Swansea to London Paddington service. We're 4 miles away actually from Cardiff Central, so technically we're 4 minutes away, which means we're going to have a yellow or a red because we are super early. There's a yellow or a red ahead. I'm concerned. Let's go ahead and slow down a little bit more because in a real timetable situation, we would not do this, but the sixth sense, that sixth sense is just ringing in my ear right now. It's not even an ear thing. It's actually something else. Okay, I'm down to 60. That'll do for the time being. A mile a minute, so we got 4 minutes if there's no delays. But I sense delays. That is a yellow. Yeah, we're going to get stopped up ahead. Guarantee it, we're getting stopped. Oh, it just turned green. Okay, maybe it's still a train moving ahead of us. But we were coming in knowing it was yellow, so I'm going to leave my speed where it is. I'm not going to do anything. We can technically proceed at line speed, but there's no reason to. We're going to come down to 40 anyway. That's probably why we're getting slowed down. The other train ahead of us was slowing down for the 40. So we're going to have to slow down in a moment anyway because of that other train. In 2 signals for sure we're going to have to. So is that yellow going to stay? Well, we got alerted that time. It turned green. We're still going at a good pace right now. A definitive chasing yellow situation. That's a warning for the 40 coming up. That's another service. I didn't check who it was. That's a signal warning. Because we're under yellows and we did actually pass the double yellow this time, I am going to stay down at 40 a little early. Two miles to go. Wouldn't this be a great time for the scenario to bug out? Yeah, you bet it would be. Another signal warning. So we know there are 20s and 15s ahead on some of the platforms, so trains ahead of us would be definitely slowing down. We have a yellow, still a single yellow at this time. The next signal is currently red. I'm going to slow down even more at this point. Probably a train slowing down for the 20. This signal will probably turn yellow for us, but we have to act like it won't. Yeah, look at that repeater. It is still red. It is still a red signal. So we're going to slow down quite a bit now. I know, thank you. So we may have to actually stop that signal. I'm coming a little faster than I wanted to, but we may have to stop at this signal. I'm coming in under 10 miles per hour now to see if we can proceed. But this may be a little more challenging than I was hoping for. 12:09 is still our expected arrival time because our path is currently blocked. Yellow. We are still going to be under caution though, so I don't think it's a good idea to put too much speed on right now. Based on my math, 20 miles per hour for 4 minutes will get us to the platform. Actually, it would take us past the platform. So yeah, we're still doing okay if we stay at 20. I'm going to take our speed up to 20. I'm going to actually chance going a little over, but not much. 22 should be fine. Well, not quite. I believe that is a yellow signal for us up ahead, so I'm going to actually increase more speed now, since I see that. I hope I'm not seeing that on the wrong route. That would be rather embarrassing. But based on what I'm seeing up ahead, that is my yellow. There is a 20 up ahead, so I'm just going to go ahead and do a slight increase, not a full increase. We are still under a full caution. That is a train leaving. We probably had to wait for him. 25 is good enough because 20 is before the next signal. Getting a warning for the 20. And you may think this is close to the 20 board, but it's close. It's good enough because we should be going 40 by now anyway at the most. So we should not be going too fast that we wouldn't be able to slow down in time. If we were going 60, the board would have to be a little further back. All signals appear to be red right now. Yep, all signals appear to be red. We have another alert. Boy, they don't want us to get to the station today, do they? We're under half a mile to go. We just have to wait for this red. And we have to wait for one more beyond it, I believe. We're now under this 20 speed limit, by the way. I am going 5. Because I'm trying to get going as soon as this signal changes. It might not work out. The timing is actually moving now, so the obstacle in my way must have moved. And actually I just gained some time, strangely enough. There's our move into platform 3. I sensed that was going to be happening because I could see the timing on the ETA was changing. So I sensed that was about to change for me. So we are cleared now into platform 3, which is exactly where we need to go. Did those lights literally just come on in front of me, or did I miss that? I think they just came on in front of me because they were not lit up a moment ago, I don't think. I'm going to review the tape on that. I think they just lit up. Maybe they were lit and I forgot. Maybe they were lit and I just wasn't paying attention. I don't know. But they're lit now, that's for sure. A lot of people in there for this time of night. Either that or those just lights that are kept on all the time. We have lots of time for our 7:13 stop, so I'm just going to pull casually in the platform. 15 is our limit anyway, so we pretty much have to pull in casually. We have no choice. We're on a 1 in 81 uphill gradient that's actually affecting me at a 20% throttle, strangely enough, so I'm going to pump it up a wee bit. Little effort on that one, unfortunately. Okay, we got a full minute to go 14/100ths of a mile. There we go. So as we pull in at Cardiff Central Platform to end our shift on a lovely, lovely sunset in front of us, we're going to go ahead and get our last couple cars in. We're going to come to a stop. We're going to open the doors and we're going to say goodbye to the first 8 scenarios and take a bit of a break from South Wales Coastal as we move to another route. What will it be next time? I'm going to keep you in suspense here, because I may change my mind. All right, we're gonna leave. We're gonna stop right there. We're gonna open the doors. That's the end of the scenario. Let's take a look at the train as we wrap the main pack. Say, it looks nice in the sunset, doesn't it? You bet it does. Train is down there. Obviously, it's in the middle of the platforms there. The first roof on the right and the second roof in the middle. It's between there, so that's where we are, platform 3. And we're done this main pack, so we just have to get our 1,000-point reward for this one. I'm still complaining about the 4th scenario. I think someone messed up doing that one, unfortunately, the second timing. Be nice if someone resubmitted that one to the DLC and did it again, but I don't think they might have fixed it in the other version. I'm not going to bother finding out, but would have been nice if it was better timed. So we just have to wait at this time for the scenario to complete. We will be done. There it is. Great work. All tasks completed successfully. Let's see how well you did. Perfect score. Let's get it. There's our last perfect score for this group of 8 scenarios. So we're going to have to review that in a second here to just look at all those lovely gold stars on the menu. But as you can see, nothing wrong here. So you can see we have those 8 scenarios completed. I'm not going to go down to the other version and do those versions. They're the same. These are the same 8 scenarios right here. I'm not going to do those versions. And it would be interesting to know if that one actually is timed differently. But I'm not going to find out. I'm not interested. So we're going to head... in the future, we're going to... I've already set up the folders because I do intend to come back to these soon. I've already set up the 7 folders for the projects to make these videos. I may even record these scenarios while the trains are fresh in my mind and then just release them when I feel like releasing them. But I do have other routes in mind. I know, for example, Stevens Pass is on my list. I want to visit... I'm going to try to put up more of the Portsmouth direct line before I actually... so I can introduce the 455 because I think the 455 scenarios for the 455 Type 9 are on the Portsmouth direct line. I need to introduce that train because I have a London to Brighton scenario pack that is going to use that, as well as some other trains I've already introduced. As well as the FCC version of the 377, so I might actually run those scenarios as well on London to Brighton before I introduce that pack. I might do that. I have to introduce some steam because there's a steam train I would need to put into action so I can start... and I can try American Steam as well, and then I can try to utilize some Just Trains packs like the Bristol Dexter pack. There's a Black 5 in that pack. It's a Black 5 scenario in that pack. So, yeah, that's some of my plans. Those are some of the early things I have in mind, but I may change my mind. I may not do any of those next time. I really want to do Stevens Pass, but I may not do any of those next time. I have to record everything first. So, yeah, we're going to see what's coming up next time. I'm not going to try to record too far ahead because of the change to 2023 in September. So I'm not going to try and record too far ahead like I did up to the end of March when you still saw scenarios from 2021 being published. So I'm not going to try and go that far ahead. But there may still be some overlap with some scenarios that I'm going to tape ahead, and you're going to see the 2022 format on those. So if I don't get to the other South Wales coastal scenarios before the changeover, you may still see this background on those scenarios. So keep that in mind. I may be recording other content after I record the South Wales coastal, and they may get published first. I'm going to see what I want to do. It's going to be whatever needs to be on the channel to introduce something else that I want to introduce on the channel. So I'm thinking of doing some stuff, just recording some stuff in advance. That's how I'm going to do it. But this is definitely falling in where it is. I know it's going to be after Donner Pass because that was the route before this. You saw the Voyager Advanced Array. That's part of the scenario pack as well. So I've got this basically somewhat planned. I just have to figure out what I'm going to do with all the DLC and what order to do them all in. That's all I have to do. And I have to get more American routes as well because I've seen 3 of them. That's not too bad. I've seen 3 American routes. I need to do another German route. I'm going to do Munich-Augsburg at some point because that's the most used workshop route, I believe, for Germany. So I'm going to get that one in there. So lots of plans coming up. Subscribe to the channel. Like this video, of course. And make sure you join the Discord server so you can tell me what you want to see because I may be able to put some of your stuff ahead of my stuff, especially if there's a use for it somewhere else in packs that I have. If there's something you think I should play, I'll consider it. If you donate on Patreon, I'm going to be more incentivized to play it. So definitely consider that as well if you want to support me. In the meantime, have a wonderful day, evening, or night, whatever it is for you, your part of the world. And I want to thank you for tuning in for the first part of our South Wales Coastal experience. These 7 scenarios you're seeing are going to be upcoming scenarios in the future, as will the ATW pack and others. I'll see you for all that and everything else coming up on the channel. I'm Cyclone. If this is all you watch on the channel, thank you for stopping by, but I hope you hang around for more. See you for that when you do come back. Have a nice day, evening, night once again. Bye-bye.